So here's now a set of parts that I'm planning to use in the Volvo. I want to cover bits and pieces. As you can see here, this is a bigger task. I actually bought 24 lifters, paid around 200 euros, so not that big of a deal. Probably spend 2 days on it. Planning to do it on a weekend, but that's something really for spring and summer, when the weather is a bit warmer. So for the time being, here are some smaller parts. I actually got some new horns. Point being is that one of the horns is broken and the other one just sounds awkward, so don't really know what the issue is. I just planning to replace both because they are a bit rusty. So originally this car came with a 335 and a 420 Hertz horn, and this is the 420. Problem is that only the 335 is available anymore from Volvo, and the problem is that Volvo is using these pins as a connector. It says 575 on that connecting part here. I guess that's the type of connectors. And the 420, I mean, it looks completely identical, but it has these stupid pins here. So all I can do is probably cut them off on the original harness and then use the different ones to connect them. It's a bit unfortunate, but yeah, I really don't see another way how to replace those. Then additionally, I got the pump for the windshield cleaning. Point being here is that it's a bit weak, so what comes out of the nozzle is not really a lot. So I'm not sure if either the pump is weak or maybe the nozzles are blocked. I also got them as a replacement. They are very cheap, so don't mind changing them. I also got a filter, but I'm not sure if I'm actually going to replace it because this is quite large. I don't know, it's from Scandix, 4 or 5 euros. I'm not sure if it really makes sense to put this in place. Then there is this little light bulb that's for the cigarette lighter. I already took out the old one, but it's not easy to put it in again, so I have to see how to do that. Also got a new cap for the headlight wiper arm because one is partly damaged. Those are the screws for the rear upper control arm outside. It's just a minor super rusty. That's the nozzle for the other side. One is original Volvo, the other one is Scandix. These are the screws. I have 4 of those. They are for the front shock absorbers. Those I will replace once I do the control arms. These things are for the horns, but probably I will not put them in place because they don't really fit. The pins don't fit through this hole. So these 4 rubbers are for the rear sway bar. One comes on the top, the other one on the bottom, so there are always 2 on each side. My hope was that this could also be the root cause of the slight clunking noise that I hear, but I doubt it. Anyway, to replace those I would probably have to cut open these nuts. So these nuts belong to the top of the sway bar, but they appear to be a bit small. I think the ones that are used are bigger, so I'm not sure if they even fit. But the only way I see how to replace those is probably by cutting this nut apart with a little flex, cut it open and then take it off somehow and replace it because it's so rusty and I cannot open it with the lever I have. These parts, those are 4 discs, they come on top and below of these 4 rubber bushings on each side, and of course they are also completely rusty. These nuts are for the rear bushing that sits in the very bottom below the wheel bearing, because I was thinking about replacing those as they are not really looking that great. This is also for the rear control arm in the bottom somewhere. These screws as well. These are again, it's also for the rear. Yeah, there are 6 of those. It's also for the rear multi-link. There are several ones, like several occasions where they are used. This is actually the sealing that belongs behind the brake protection shield. So that's something I also bought. They're still outstanding. The part supplier had a bit of a problem to obtain them. It's quite expensive. I paid 100 per side, but mine have completely disintegrated. So there's no other way than replacing them. These are again for the shock absorbers. And this is something that is broken because this front part of the lid is cracked. I think that cost like €1.50 or something. So, and these are these very problematic screws. There are 2 on each side for the upper control arm, the rear. They sit inside, and those were the ones where I was really struggling with opening them. So I have 4 of those. We'll just replace them. Probably put a bit of grease inside to really prevent any moisture from going inside and starting to rust again. But that's it for the time being. So the next things I'm going to do are just replacing the horns, doing everything that is related to the windshield water supply. Then I'm going to actually insert the CD changer. So that's great because I got a used part for €30, which works. I checked it. The one that I got from the seller, the original one, I mean, it's the same part, but the one that he gave me is broken. It doesn't react anymore. I think that the little electronic motor that sits inside is just broken, so it doesn't release the cartridge when you push the button. But the new one does, so it works. I took it apart, cleaned the laser. That's always important to do on these things after years. Gave it some lubrication on some of the tooth wheels, cleaned the front, and now I'm going to install it back in the car. And then I expect it to work. But that's something I will cover in another video. I guess I will do all these 3 things together, the horns, this stuff. And then actually all these screws and things I will do in one separate video where I will again look on the rear multi-link. I guess in that turn I'm also going to replace the rear brakes and the brake dust shield, because I think, I mean, everything can be done in one turn. And I guess then the outstanding issues are, will I be able to replace those parts on the sway bar? Plus, will I finally be able to figure where this clunking noise is coming from? And I guess once all these things are done, the clunking noise is sorted out, there's not really anything outstanding on the multi-link, except of course that some of the bushings are not perfect anymore, but they are also not, I mean, I've seen much worse ones, and apparently the car is still running great. And then independent of that, of course, I will do these lifters. In that turn I'm also going to replace the timing belt. I got a cheap one from Continental, €25. The old one just ran for, I don't know, 15,000 kilometers, but it's now 6 years old. So in that turn I'm just going to do this. So this is one project I will do. The other project that is then to come will be the replacement of the front suspension parts.